This is Kill Village. I was waking up this morning just, going about my regular, scrolling through Twitter or whatnot. And I came across this story here that took place the other day after the NBA finals. Uh, there was a crazy shooting that took place in downtown Oakland area on 14th Street in Harrison. Now, I'm going to let the news kind of give their report. I'm going to stop in between from time to time and just kind of give some perspective on what's taking place here and just trying to give some more of a lesson and try to give you more of a background and understanding of where this type of behavior comes from, gang culture. We're going to get into some of the statistics here in Oakland in the crime area. And we're also going to take you to the actual crime scene. I want you to actually visualize and feel what took place here because crimes like this take place all the time, and it's sad when you see people jump out in traffic, outgoers. They don't care about none of that. They just go to shooting. And for the most part, for me, you know I realize and understand who the race is. I see behind the mask. I don't necessarily got the identity of who it is, but we know it's some brothers, and it just hurts me to even say brothers because when I call somebody my brother, that means I love you, but I can't love you. I don't love this. All I want to see is justice that comes out of this. But before I continue on, I just want to kind of give some perspective to that. But here goes the story. Let's get right into it.
A bar not long after the Warriors won their NBA championship.
It happened on a busy street in front of a lot of people in downtown Oakland, and it was all caught on surveillance camera.
KPX5's Da Lin has the exclusive video and talked to nervous business owners and neighbors.
Surveillance footage shows the shooting was a targeted hit. The murder victim was standing right next to the van, but stray bullets hit multiple bystanders. It was a busy night on 14th Street. A lot of people out and about in downtown Oakland. Some were perhaps celebrating the Warriors winning a championship.
Now, what I want you to understand is look at the scenery here. Look at the layout here. It's a busy night. People are minding their business, enjoying themselves. The Warriors just got done winning the championship, so I'm sure there's a lot of sports talk right now, a lot of hype, people talking junk. And as you can see, there's a lot of brothers there, African Americans, gathered and just, what I'm saying, everybody chilling with their clique and doing what they do. Now, if you can notice here, if you see the man here in the yellow with the yellow overthrow with the black t-shirt and the ball cap with the white emblem on the front, it looks like it may be a Oakland Raiders emblem. I'm not too sure. It's a little blurry in this video here, but if we look at him and we see he's just minding his business. Now, who knows how these perpetrators found his location, but we know how it is nowadays in social media where people want to post their location, show where they are, people go live. And if you're in the gang life and the gang culture, you got to realize that people are watching you, especially if you're in a gang that where y'all like on some on-site type of junk where it's like, yo, if I see you, bro, it's on. And the savagery just in that type of mentality is something a little deeper in psychology, and we get into that in other videos. But in this video here, I just want you to see how he's going about his business, just cool and not bothering anybody. But who knows what led up to this situation? He could have did something in the streets. It's a retaliation hit. Who knows? But when you're in this life, it's a life that man, you can't be reckless. You know what I'm saying? Like you're out dolo by yourself. I don't know who he's with amongst these people here, but if you see him, it's kind of like he's just meandering along, by himself. Like as you watch him, I'm just going to scroll back just a little bit. If you notice when he first starts to walk up, he's alone. See, he started off in the back there by the white vehicle, and then he's just walking. He's not walking with anybody. He's by himself, right? Texting on his telephone, just keeping to himself. Now, this is one of the situations that I was telling you. Okay, so here he is. He started talking to some people. Maybe he has some familiarity with the people that he came across, and he started talking with one of the guys and the girls there by the van. Now, as you're gonna witness and see here, I was gonna let the news report get into it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and just narrate it. We don't really need them to narrate this part, but as you see, he's sitting there and he's talking and he's going about his business. And all of a sudden, you're gonna witness here, they kind of go into a jump clip here to give you a perspective. Okay, guys hop out of the car. Now, let me see if I could get this back just a few seconds here. Hold on, I'm gonna get it right here. And if you're on YouTube, this is uploaded to my YouTube Kill Village. But I mean, if you're on podcast, you're listening to this, just go to my YouTube page, Kill Village. I'm trying to get my subscribers up there. So if you're interested into this podcast, if you want to see the visuals that I use, I don't always use visuals, but times where I really want to get a little bit deeper into the discussion, I do use visuals and I put them up on YouTube, so you can go check it out there. So back to the story. So as you can see here, there's going to be some gentlemen that pull up here in this black SUV in the street over here. Now, I'm just gonna actually I'm gonna stop sharing this. I'm gonna go back over here. I'm gonna stop sharing this here, and I'm gonna take you to the actual street. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take you to the actual street so we can actually see where this. Okay, so if you're here on YouTube and you're watching, this is where it took place. Let me make sure it's showing up on my screen here. Hold on, let me put it up here. Okay, boom. Great. So this is where the shooting actually took place. This is a live shot of what's taking place here on 14th Street in Harrison in Oakland, California. So as we've seen in the beginning, the guy was walking down here by himself, and the shooting actually took place right here in front of this looks like a gray Nissan, I believe. I wanted to try to get a little closer. I didn't want to mess up the picture, but okay, no, let me go back around. Let me not get too crazy. Okay, so we see the young men pull up here in the vehicle. They jump out. The driver jumps out. It's actually four perpetrators. Four of them jump out. Driver, passenger, two in the back seat, and it looks like two of them have automatic weapons. Two to three of them have automatic weapons, and another person has like a handgun. And they attack this man in a way that is just so vicious and so brutal. And in the middle of traffic, people there, not even callous disregard for human life. It's just horrible. I mean, they didn't even nothing planned. And this is what I tell you, young people, about the social media today. Your location and seeing it. Who knows if this was an inside job? How did they know he was there? Did he go live? Did he even threaten? But I would be amiss to even think that he would threaten, because you didn't even seem like he had a gun. He ain't even seem like he seen it coming. So I highly doubt that he would threaten them or try to be tough and tell them, "Oh, pull up on me if you tough." I wouldn't think he would do that, because he didn't seem like he was watching his back and being, on the lookout or not. But who knows what the perspective of this killer? It could be a retaliation kill, somebody just trying to harm somebody else, family member just trying to hurt the other gang. This guy probably never had anything to do with gang activity at all. He probably was just chilling in the middle of the night, out doing his normal thing, and they knew where he was going to be at. And it was just, but see, it's so crazy, because when we get back into the video and actually pull the video up and you see the guys jump out, it's like, how did y'all know he was going to be exactly right there at that spot? See, this is why it's going to go into further investigation. How did they know? They jumped out and got him on site, like saw him posted up behind the car, came up round, and like, how did they know? Was it a location thing? But even with the location, I mean, you will have to still, normally you will see a car pull up and it would just kind of like scan, or you know what? They could have been following him. Remember, he came up by himself. Remember, he came from down the street right here by himself. He came probably from around this corner, and they probably said, "There you go." Pointed him out, scoped him out, and they bent around this corner right here off of Harrison, and then they came over here into 14th, and they followed him and they seen him and they jumped out because they already had him marked because he had an outfit that pretty much stand out with the yellow overthrow with the Oakland Raiders hat on. You know, so I'm gonna go back to the video and I'm gonna allow the watchers here on YouTube to be able to see what actually took place with the shooting. I mean, it's sad, you know, it's sad the world that we live in now to where, you know, this kind of stuff is just it's becoming a norm. You know, you end up growing numb to it because it happens so often that America is built on violence, though. See, that's one thing we have to understand. America thrives on violence. And I'm going to get more into the reason why they thrive on violence. It's not to say that all of America is, because you got to understand when we get into statistics, there's only not only, but there's 350 million people in the United States. So if you give a statistic and you really look at the number of people that get murdered every year, and we'll get deeper into that stuff in other podcasts, then you kind of see like what narrative are you trying to push? Because see, a lot of times with some of these killings, it just becomes a I'm gonna put you on the news. I'm gonna get my name out there. I'm gonna get my stripes. Same thing with some of these school shootings. If you think about it, what if they never even broadcasted it? We don't have to broadcast it. It could just be something horrible that took place. We could find other ways to make these wanted posters, or you know, even get the message out there to other, you know, common folks that hey, if you got any information, we're doing our investigation, but not give too much into that lead story. You see, most news stories start off with a killing or a murder that took place. They try to captivate you, get you on the edge of the seat. They want you to tune in. They want you to receive and understand violence. But that's America for you. That's a whole nother discussion within itself. But take a place. Take a look here. And we, as we were seeing in the actual visual when I just showed you the street on the Google Maps. So here we go. There's Harrison right there. So we're just going to roll back just a little bit just so we can get the perspective. And I'm just going to let the video roll through. All right. So we can see our individual. Okay. He's coming up that street. Remember, he could be coming off of Harrison, off that corner. He could have been coming straight down 14th. I'm not sure. But when they did a jump clip, the jump clip just shows the vehicle pulling up. We don't necessarily get to see which way the vehicle came from, so we don't know if he was being trailed or not. But just take a look at this here, and I'm just going to let it play through. And here we go. So we see him walking down here. He's on his cell phone texting. See people being normal. Now here comes the jump clip. And let's see what we can see where the truck comes from. No, you can't tell. Run up on him, gun him down. Now, if you notice, there's 3 gunmen right here. 1, 2, 3. 3 gunmen shooting. If you notice that, I'll scroll back just a little bit. See, there's 2 shooting, one in the white hoodie and the one in the black. But then there's another one that comes up right alongside of him if you didn't catch that. Here he comes right here. Bang, bang, bang. Right? And then there's a 4th one that came around the front of this van here. And this is the other angle that show you in front of the van. So there's 3 that came out in the back. Watch. Our victim right there is getting shot on the ground. Look, he's getting shot by all 3 right now. Then a 4th comes right here with the white glove on his hand. And then he dumps off a few more shots into the victim. And then they scurry back into the vehicle. And they pull off. And this happened in front of the halftime bar. Man, you know, sometimes, you know, you try to make sense. You try to make sense out of some of these killings. And I try to never justify anything, you know what I'm saying? But this is gang behavior. They moved in unison. This was something that they had planned out. They knew what they wanted to do. They had their target. They gunned them down. Now, was this a retaliation towards another gang member that may be locked up or something happened in jail. Sometimes there's information that's passed down through the jail cells. What they call big apes. The man, the honcho, who's ever locked up, calling the shots on the streets. Sometimes they use targets such as innocent family members to get back at their victims. To get back when they use them, they victimize them to get back at the people that they're beefing with. I apologize for that mix up there, but you get what I'm trying to say here. It's just sad sometimes where, I work a lot in the community, and we try to create programs and things for young people to be able to give back, so they can get a different perspective. We get into things like technology, and we try to offer that to the youth to give them a different perspective in life, because America loves violence. So you're going to get it on your movies, you're going to get it on your radio shows, you're going to get it on social media. It's there. Sex, violence, money, drugs, it's there. But it's up to us as adults how we curate our children's minds, what we expose them to. Those 4 men that hopped out of that truck, we hope they get caught. You know what I'm saying? I hope they catch them so they can spend the rest of their lives in prison. But outcomes like that, a lot of times, they're probably end up losing their lives as well. They're living a life that's reckless. Anybody that does anything that reckless, they have callous disregard for life. So to even think about them, in any other light, are they redeemable? At this point, I say not. Remember, I always tell you, as a child, what were your influences? What was being poured into you? What were you learning? What were your rewards? Were you being rewarded for positivity, doing good things? Or were you rewarded for being bad? Did your surroundings teach you to be evil and mean to others? Did the pain inside you cause you to become evil as you got older? Well, we've seen those 4 men hop out and take a life and didn't care. So how was their raising? One can only imagine. Until we meet again, I'm out.